my name's Kate. I am the person behind the paintings of this channel, and I'm doing a different kind of video today. I thought I'd go through all the paintings that I've done during quarantine, since I've had so much time on my hands, and just kind of give a tour. I don't keep a sketchbook per se, but I do want to still give a bit of an art tour and go through some of the stuff. Some of the pieces you'll see do have videos on this channel. Some might not be up on YouTube yet. I'll be in the middle of editing them. And then some I just haven't filmed at all. But yeah, let's look through them. So there's this one. I did not film this one. The flowers I hand drew with pencil because I knew I was going to use acrylics for the paint. And I just drew the flowers, then painted over them. I actually saved the black till last just because I didn't know how easily the white and cream was going to cover up the black. So even though it was a lot more painstaking, like it took a lot more time, I did the flowers first and then I did the black background, and just with a small brush went in all the creases. So yeah, it is on a stretched canvas. I think I got these in a pack from the Works for a really good price, but I'm not a fan of stretched canvases. I don't think I'm not very comfortable with when I add pressure to it, how it bends under the brush. So yeah, I was just trying to use up these stretched canvases as well. I have found that I much prefer the canvas boards, and I have a few more of those. You'll see them as we go along. But yeah, I'm really happy with it. Would probably not do it on a stretched canvas next time. I just wanted to do a little Ghibli piece. I love using watercolours, and I think Ghibli art and characters are just really well suited to watercolours. Just a little Totoro. I got the image off of Google because I knew I wanted to paint him with his little friends as well. So I just kind of looked around and I thought this one was especially cute, with one on his head and one trailing behind. This guy is actually my favourite. Yeah, this was just me trying to practice keeping it simple. I did not film painting this piece because it was more of an experiment, and honestly I thought it would take like 10 minutes. Maybe not that short, but it didn't take that long. It wouldn't have been a very long video. And yeah, I used watercolour pencils as the outlines when I drew him, so that when I went over it with the paint, it would fade away more. I had these canvas boards and I was experimenting with them because I had a set of gouache paints and I didn't know if I liked them. I'll just show you. I don't like it, but I'll show you anyway. I was just experimenting with the colours, with the like the texture of gouache paints. So yeah, I would just do a background and then put things on top and see how they interacted, how they covered each other up. So yeah, I just did these shapes and it was pretty boring. So afterwards I just got some of my Posca pens and did these little patterns over the top to just try and make it interesting. But yeah, not my favourite, but I learnt more about gouache. And I have another one of these. This one wasn't filmed, and neither was the next one. Again, it was just experimenting. This one I like more, just because, I don't know, it's a lot simpler. I liked the colours more. I thought it took too long to dry. I think that was a grievance of mine. And in the end, I think my favourite part was actually, again, just adding details with Posca pens and my white gel pen. So it's good for block colours, but I don't think I personally enjoy painting in block colours. I like blending colours, and so yeah, maybe it's just not my style. The next one, oh yeah, I didn't film this either. Again, it was just a really quick experiment. Well, it's just this watercolour piece. This was from an old watercolour set. I've since replaced it. Then over the top I used an ink pen to just paint little flowers and leaves, and actually I changed the way I stand it up. It goes either way. But yeah, I enjoyed the idea of it, and I even used a white gel pen to put little details on the leaves, but I have, like I said, I've since bought a newer watercolour set. I invested some more money into this watercolours because these kind of became powdery, and it's like, I feel like if I rub my finger on it, it comes off too easily. Also, I could have drawn this flower way better, but I was also experimenting with drawing with an ink pen, like an ink brush pen. I'll show you all of my supplies maybe in a different video. I don't want to like go too into that right now. But yeah, this was mostly an experiment. I wanted to try this like simple style, but I also wanted to test out some of the paints and the new pen I had. I did do a video on this one. It had a bit of a negative title, so I've had people tell me that they love this one, that it's their favourite so far, but I just feel like I could do so much better if I gave it another go. I think the name of the video where I painted this was like painting a forest, but then cheap paints aren't great, because this is a watercolour set I got for £2, and I've done these sort of laid one colour type paintings before, and it's gone so much better. I really enjoyed doing the background with this nice clouded grey, just to show like the weather. But then as I added trees coming further and further into the foreground, the water would stain. It's like the water couldn't handle being on top of so many layers of paint smoothly, so it would ruin it. And again, the same problem as the other one, because it's the same paint set. If I rub my fingers off of it, it's powdery now. It's dried out, and it's like the water and the paint couldn't sit together for the whole time. As I was painting, they'd start to separate and the powder would just collect, which I'm not a fan of. So I actually like the painting, but I don't like the paints that I used, and I know I can do better. So I am going to do a repainting of this sometime. It's on the list, but I have a long list. So yeah. Okay, I did not do a video of this. I was practicing a technique. So here is my little astronaut man. No, I'm not that skilled. This astronaut, I did find just an image of an astronaut because it wasn't the drawing I was practicing. I actually just wanted to practice this ink blend around the edge here, but I just thought I'd make it cool and make it look like it was space. So I found an image of an astronaut to, you know, draw the suit and all the pipes and stuff, because it's not really my thing. So yeah, drew an astronaut, and I wanted it to seem like he was floating in space, but then space came to an end with this nice ink bleed. It went okay. I did use ink, even though I'm used to using watercolours if I need the colour black. I just wanted to practice it more. And some places it went really well, like it's so cloudy on the bottom here. That's the kind of thing I wanted. And like, you can see like little veins here. It almost reminds me of like roots of a plant. But then here, it's just an edge, like a straight line. There's no blend to it. So I need to practice more. But it was a fun piece to make. And then just to like make it a little prettier, I made a little galaxy in his helmet, and I used my silver Posca pen to do little dots as the stars. But I just really liked the idea of just black and white around him, but then his helmet's reflecting a galaxy, adding a little colour to it, even though it was just supposed to be a practice. I do notice that at the very top, the inks kind of broke up, so you start to see the white of the paper underneath again. I just need more practice, because I don't know why that happened, but yeah, little astronaut guy. Okay, I like this guy. I think I filmed doing this actually. Did I? But I don't know where the video went because I'm pretty sure it's not on my YouTube channel. Anyway, I'll show you. It's a little mushroom guy. I love drawing little mushroom guys. Don't ask me why. I did 2 versions of this. This was back when I was practicing gouache. I wanted to see the difference between that and using watercolor. I wanted to see the difference between how I liked it and just how it looked. So this guy is the watercolor version because I can tell that I drew him with watercolor pencils first. It looks like it didn't go as planned because I can tell I've used Posca markers again to kind of go around the edges of his spots with red just to make it neater. But I really enjoy the blending on his body and adding the shadow. I really enjoy how the colour is blended, and it's not one smooth colour, it's patchy, but it looks natural. Just making it look a bit more realistic, or as realistic as you can get with Little Mushroom Friend. But yeah, and then I added his little face with Posca markers as well. And it looks like I added yellow around the edge. I think maybe the watercolor pencil didn't blend away as much as I wanted, so I just kind of drew over it in yellow. But it gives it a nice, like, sunshiny outline. Yeah, little friend. There's more here than I realised, but it has been a long quarantine, I guess. Oh yeah, so at the very beginning of quarantine, I started playing Ori. I love my video games, and I think honestly more of my art should be about video games just because I play them so much. But yeah, I started playing Ori and I just loved how the light of the character interacted with the surroundings of the video game. It's a very pretty game. And I think this is what led to me wanting to test more with the astronaut, with the ink, just because I think his light is cut off in too much of a solid line. And if I were to do it again, I think I'd maybe do the border in black and let the ink just bleed out, and then I would draw Ori in the center and in like kind of to match that shape. I think by drawing Ori first, so big on such a little piece of paper, I think that was kind of limiting myself. But it was hard as well to shade a character who seems to be just made of light. So I did his outline in another silver Posca pen. So yeah, you can tell he's there, but he's not outlined in just black. He's got a bit of a shimmer to him, and then the lightest of blues for the shaded areas like his ears and his eyes and nose. And because he has this kind of blue sheen to his light, it did add like a bit of blue watercolor to the edge of the black ink. Is it ink? I think it's ink like right at the edge, and then I'd switch to black watercolor, so then that would mix better with the blue watercolor. Just a lot of learning with this one, but I love them because I love Ori. And if you haven't played the game, I recommend it. I know I got it on Xbox Game Pass, I don't know if it's still on, but yeah, I think he's cute. I'm happy with him. Don't know if you've noticed, I love to draw plants and like cute little characters, but I kind of stay away from more accurate anatomy. So this was my first proper go at that. Again, it's on canvas board. Yeah, just thought I'd choose one bit of a person, chose the eye. And I just kind of used an image off of Google as a reference. What would I change? I don't know. I know I just need more practice at people. I feel like I should practice doing people more realistically and then try and make my own style of like simplifying it, making it a bit more cartoonish, maybe cuter. I think I should start with learning how people are actually drawn and learning how people actually look before I then try and find my own style with it. Yeah, I think one thing I would change was I did the eyelashes before the shadowed line, and and that was a mistake because the eyelashes then blended into when I did the line. I should have done it the other way around, so then I could draw the eyelashes over the shadowed line after it had dried, and yeah, that would have made more sense. But I'm happy with it. I did watch a YouTuber, Jim Reno, is that her name? I don't know. I will put the name on the screen and in the description. But she paints a lot of people, and I did notice every time she did on a white canvas, she would do a wash of burnt sienna first, which I thought was a great idea, because even though there was white of this, nothing is perfectly white on the human body. So it made sense to me, because then when I added white, you can still kind of see a fleshy shade underneath, and then it made everything easier for blending the skin tones. I do have a video of painting this up on my YouTube channel already, so you can go and watch that if you want to see the process, but it was just a lot of playing around with shading and blending of the skin tones, like how we have darker skin, like because of the shadows of our eyebrow, and how it might be lighter here and like perhaps on the cheekbone, and then darker as it gets closer to the nose. It was just a lot of learning, really, but quite happy with it. It does stare at me though when I'm doing my other paintings, so. Oh yeah, okay. It's that guy. If you know Studio Ghibli's, particularly Spirited Away, hopefully you'll recognise him. I do love Ghibli films, and a lot of my paintings so far have been Spirited Away, just kind of gotten into a theme. I'm not just gonna turn into a Ghibli art channel, but you know, paint what you feel, and I just feel this character so much. He's always in the wrong place at the wrong time, bless him. And also, I think it was my first time drawing a character from a movie, so usually I'll draw my own characters like the little mushroom guy, or I'll choose something simple like Ori. But this guy, I just love him so much. He's just, this is from the scene where Haku blasts him and he's just kind of stunned. And yeah, maybe it was a weird choice, but I love painting him. I painted him with a new watercolor set I bought. So it wasn't the first time using it, but it was nice to just kind of explore and experiment with the colors, because they are quite vibrant, but at the same time, I wanted to save the vibrant colours for the shadows and use more of a watered down version for the main parts. And then it might look like it, but I didn't actually use the Posca pens for the outlines. I used the watercolours for the whole thing. I drew him with my watercolour pencils again, so it would blend. I just love him so much. Maybe I should have painted a shadow for him because he is floating, but honestly I was just happy with how it turned out, and I was happy with my new watercolours that I used to paint him. So yeah, there is a video of him on my YouTube channel already, on this channel, if you want to watch him come alive. Yeah, it's a little, cute little frog friend. So this one is my latest painting. Like as I'm recording this, it's the latest video on my YouTube channel, and it is this. It is a scene from Studio Ghibli's Spirited Away. If you can write Japanese, I am so sorry, because I cannot write Japanese. I tried to copy as best I could from an image, but yeah, I mostly wanted to paint this because I just loved all the different shades of pink and trying to make the most out of one colour, I'd say. And to convey like different depths. So yeah, and then I wanted it to be picture perfect, so I did the card as well. I had a lot of fun doing the little love hearts and swirls with my Posca markers. But yeah, I used my new watercolour set for this as well. Did not disappoint, the pink is just as vibrant as everything else. And then I took a photograph of it and brought it into Procreate on my iPad to add the plastic shine, because in the film it's wrapped in plastic as like a gift bouquet, and I wanted to add that on, and I'll probably put an image on the screen so you can see, or you can just watch the video, because I include the Procreate part at the end of the video to show how I just changed the colours a little bit, like made it a bit more saturated, and then added a low opacity white sheen to the top of it. So yeah, the art videos will continue. It's not just going to become a studio vlog channel. I do like to make my speed paint videos as well. But if you like this, maybe I'll make another one, and maybe I'll show you more of the supplies that I use, or we can do a Q&A. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe, you know, if you want to. And yeah, I'll put my Etsy and Instagram links in the description along with everything else.